Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about all things socialistic because that's the world we live in. Entertainment news, by the way. Entertainment news. Well, of course, I'm not alone by myself here. I have myself a co-host, and he is the. Can I say you're the co-host with the most? Can I get away with that?
No.
No, no, I won't do it then. How you doing, Thundera? What's up, dude?
I am swell. I am
Ooh,
swell. I just had one of those days where I just fell off, and just didn't feel, good. But I basically went into like a little meditative state for about
uh-huh.
20 minutes in here, and now I'm better.
Well, that's good.
Calmed my nerves, brought myself back down to center. I'm good.
Well, that is good to hear. And it's interesting you said that you felt swell because I heard someone say fiddlesticks the other day too. Damn, it's, it's coming along. What did you do this weekend? What you been up to?
I have actually the only thing I've been doing is been playing Horizon Zero Dawn
Ooh, yes.
because I never played it on PlayStation and they have it on PC now.
Uh-huh.
And it was on sale on Steam for like $20 or something. I was like, all right, for $20, even if it sucks. What am I out? $20, but it's
So,
pretty good. It's, I mean, it's people say, people had said it was like a Far Cry clone or whatever, and basically, yeah, it's very similar,
kind of
but
look
the
like it,
setting's
yeah.
pretty cool. The setting's pretty cool. It's set in the far future. Machines and humans have gone back to tribal, dystopia, tribalism. It's not
I
really
saw that.
dystopian. It's just
Yeah.
everybody lives in tribes because society collapsed, and machines wander the planet like animals, and you hunt them. And it's an interesting take on that world, on that that dystopia or whatever you want to
Do
call it.
you eat them?
No, you don't eat them. You still have to hunt animals if you want food, but you don't have to eat. It's not like it's that that realistic where you actually have to eat food or you'll die.
Oh well,
But
I'm out.
you can use fats and stuff to make potions from animals.
Oh,
So
I see. Yeah, no, I
and
like
you need animal
cannibalism.
skin. You need animal skin to make pouches and upgrades for your gear.
I would think you just make Tony Stark Iron Man armor. I mean, you got access to
You
it.
would think.
You think. Anyway, we got Roger Heller in here. We got Lady Celtic Moon. Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, no, I never played it either, but I've heard a lot of good things, so that's good. This weekend, what did I do this weekend? Well, I went out for my wife's second birthday dinner. Don't ask. And
Mhm.
I washed my car. Mm. Oh,
Fun.
and I went sailing.
Sailing
Hmm.
in a sailboat?
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'm a sailor. Did you not? Didn't you know?
Do you wear the little suit with the little hat and everything?
Don't judge me.
Little outfit?
At least I'm
Because
At least I'm not Gilligan. I'm the skipper, bitch. So there you go.
if so, we need pictures of this. We need to see it. We need to view it with our eye holes.
No, no. I just wear a driver cap, and I you have to dress appropriately when you're on a boat. I mean, you don't want to slip and slide around and stuff. But no, I don't do that. I like sailing.
I know. I just like giving you a hard time.
Everyone does. They seem to think it's an elitist thing to do. All right. Roger says, I'm going to start praying long and hard that Biden does not take away our guns because this is going to be a war that will not be stopped. It would be an ugly decision, yeah. And he'd probably never pay for it either. Yeah, as it is. I am playing Raid Shadow Legends. That's good, Lady Celtic Moon. It is not a sponsor of this channel, however. Yeah.
Should
Uh,
be.
it should be.
Should be.
Yes. How did that go? It went well. It was a very sunny day. It was a nice day. We had a nice weekend, and it was a slightly becalmed though. So we got in about, I would say maybe 45 minutes of actually good sailing. The rest of it was just under diesel, right? But it's a I don't know. This time of year, sometimes you have great sailing days, and sometimes you have nothing. I don't know. It's very inconsistent. But then again, I'm not close enough to the tropics to get that constant flow of air that you would down in those areas. Uh,
Mm.
But anyway, I'm not going to get into a long sailing conversation
Well,
because how dare you yell at me?
you could sail down to the what are they called down there? The islands. My brain just lost it. What are they called? Where
Okinawa,
Malaysia and all that is?
Malaysia, Indonesia. Yeah, I could, and
Yeah, that area.
bring a gun. Lots of pirates. Lots of
Yeah,
pirates.
you might need a couple guns, but
Yeah,
that's all right.
a couple guns.
Oh,
Yeah.
one other thing I did as well is I watched the first night of WrestleMania last night, and oh boy, it was uh, it was rage inducing. So what
Wow.
I'm going to do is in the background it's muted. I'm going
Uh-huh.
to let it play
Uh-huh.
behind me while we stream, and if I rage out at any point,
Yeah.
it's probably that.
Okay. What are they doing wrong this time?
Just well, let's see. First, the WWE Championship. Supposed to be the biggest title in the whole world.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah, yeah.
Opened the show.
What?
Uh, yeah, yeah. Allegedly, the fans demanded it, but I don't know if that's true.
No, that's the how you end the show. Who was the title match between?
Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
Well,
And spoilers, Bobby Lashley won because of shenanigans.
of course. Well, uh, McIntyre is getting a shot at the belt. Really?
He was champion all last year.
Holy shit! How did that happen? Redheads are
You haven't
supposed to
you
be.
haven't seen him lately, have you?
I guess not, because last I
You
remember,
should
he
just
was long-haired,
do a
red-haired
Google
guy.
search for Drew McIntyre. He's a totally different guy now. He's built like he's a giant. He's put on probably 50 pounds of muscle.
All right, let me check him out.
Yeah.
Because I
He
remember.
actually is gorgeous, and it's unfair to the rest of men in the world. The way this dude, the proportions on this
Well, he
guy
was always a
are
pretty boy.
just inhuman. He's got those deep blue eyes, that deep Scottish
Uh
accent,
oh.
long dark hair, nice beard, and he's ripped to shreds.
Well,
Like it's just not fair.
you know who he
Not fair
looks
to the
like.
rest of the men.
Well, you know who he looks like. He looks like ravishing Rick Rude.
A bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that going
Yeah.
on big time. Maybe he's been training with Randy.
He actually trains with Sheamus, I guess. Him and Sheamus are actually like best friends, and they've
Oh,
been
well,
training
Sheamus
together
has
for
got a good
years.
routine. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and he eventually he just because he got fired from WWE like 6 years ago or something like that.
Sheamus?
McIntyre did.
Oh,
No, McIntyre. And he decided to learn his lesson instead of pout about it, and went and got himself shredded like he is now.
Yeah.
And when he came back, they took him a while, but eventually he got to the main event and the title, won the Royal Rumble, everything.
Well,
But
good
of
for
course,
him.
when that happens for him, COVID happened and they weren't allowed to have fans anymore. So he had a whole year where he was champion basically, and there was no one around to see it.
Well, no, good for him, dude. Good to hear. That's good to hear. Ray Thulo says, is it still empty arenas, or do
No,
they
right
still
now
have?
they have I think 30,000 people in Tampa in the big field down there. They
Oh,
were only
that's
allowed to
Florida.
have so many.
That's why.
Yeah. And Florida, even the city said, yeah, you can have fans, but only so many, and they have to wear masks and blah blah blah. But still, they have
Yeah.
about 30,000. So I mean,
So.
what's hilarious is this was their first show. WrestleMania was their first show back with an audience, and they had a 40-minute rain delay last night.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Yeah. Well, that's an
Oh.
interesting title match, though. I mean, good for Drew. But Bobby Lashley, I mean, he was old freaking 10 years ago.
Yeah, he's still insanely ripped though. Like you wouldn't
Oh,
know
he's
he's
a
in
big
his
boy.
40s.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
big
he's a
boy.
monster. McIntyre's actually bigger than him. He's taller, a little bit broader. I don't know who's actually stronger, but in size wise, McIntyre, because he's filled out so much, is bigger than Lashley now.
I would say McIntyre's probably stronger. Lashley never struck me as a strong guy.
Oh, he's legit. He was an MMA fighter. I think he only lost one match, 7 fights or something like that, and he was a Army Ranger.
No,
Lashley.
I'm not taking it away. I just never play. I never. He may be a tactician, is what the way I looked at him. I never saw him
Yeah.
as a power broker.
Mm-hmm.
Like Goldberg or
He never really wrestled that way
that.
either, which is
Yeah.
a shame because he's got the build for it. It doesn't have to be real. They don't actually have to be strong in wrestling. They just have to look like it.
You know who he reminded me a lot of? Bobby Lashley is Ted DiBiase.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, he reminded me a lot of him. But anyway, cool. I'm happy for both of them. I wouldn't. Those are two names I had Of course, I watched wrestling when I was young. Then I was out running around the world. Then I got married, and I introduced my son to it, and he loved it. So I watched it with him. And now that he's out, I just don't watch it anymore. So
I'll say this: we are at the precipice of a dark age for wrestling, a genuine one.
uh huh.
It's been real bad from pretty much everybody for about the last year. Now, granted, a lot of that had to do with COVID, but you would think under those circumstances, eventually, they would, you know, your ass is to the ground here, right? Your back's to the wall.
Yeah.
That would have pushed people to do better, because everybody lost audience, not
Oh yeah.
just like in live attendance, but even on TV and stuff. Their ratings went down. You would think that would light a fire under them, but it doesn't seem to have. Anybody in the
Yeah.
world, no, even Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, which was always like for about 10 years there was just solid and sometimes amazing, and even it's been stumbling lately, and
Well.
it's real sad to see
Well.
because I don't think there's a guy or a group of guys that can save it this time. Right? Last time they got lucky when there was a big collapse right after the Attitude Era. Cena showed up, Brock showed up, Batista showed up. They had all these superstars just show up.
Yep.
I don't think that guy exists right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but Orton's in his 40s. He ain't gonna carry it forever. So who's gonna take his spot and be like the biggest star? I don't know.
He is a special human, though.
He
I
is.
give him
He's
props
about to
all day
wrestle right
long.
now, actually.
No, is he? Oh, good. But yeah, no. We've seen a lot of real silly things going on. I mean, like for instance, in regards to the COVID, not only is the CDC saying this, but the WHO also is saying this, which is shocking. That yeah, if you got your shot, you're good, and all this stuff about variants and mutations and stuff like that. The CDC and the WHO both are saying, yeah, if you got your shot, you're good. But that's not what the politicians are saying, right? You got to wear the mask forever. We have to have lockdowns forever. They really are making a serious push to create their socialist nightmare. They really are,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah, of course they are. That's what it was all about.
It's always been, but I mean, this is the biggest push I've ever seen toward it, dude. I mean, you had the push in the 30s. You had the big push after the war in the 50s, of course, and the 60s with McCarthyism. You had but it's been a long time since we've had a serious push, right? And I think
Hmm.
this is the most recent one, right? Because this, communism, fell down so many places all over the world and failed, but they're making their heavy push back. Do you know why? Do you understand why? What this whole, not from the politicians and their masters' point of view, but from the idiots that run around, screaming communism now. Do you
Well,
know why?
you just answered your own question.
Well,
They're
other than
idiots.
idiots, yeah. But how do they rationalize it? Do you know?
I don't know, something. It's moral or something. What
Yeah,
do you
there it
got
is.
for me?
No,
Yeah,
that's exactly right. They think they're
yeah.
more moral than you.
They somehow think communism, which has directly led to the deaths of, I say, 250 million. The historians lie and say it's only 100 now. But when I was
Oh
going
yeah,
through high school,
it's
it was
come down.
200 million. So somehow they cut off 100 milli in 20 years. That's impressive.
It
That
is
we just
impressive.
raised 100 million from the dead out of nowhere.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Um, no, it's actually closer to 250 million if you actually look at the data, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
well, you can actually
regardless,
add. Yeah, you can add
it's
more
a
to it.
lot of people.
It is. Yeah.
It's a lot of people have died at the hands of the ravages of chasing this utopian nonsense. There is no utopia. Nature hates you. Other humans hate you. This idea that we can all get along because we just will if we just work together as a community and blah, that's all bullshit. It's
Yeah.
all bullshit.
Yeah. Well, you know why I mentioned
Find
it.
your tribe and fight for it.
That's
That's
right.
all that matters.
Well, you know why I mentioned it. No, no.
What? Tell me.
Well, because the headlines are full of it, and they are
Oh,
today as well. Would you like to get into it?
let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let me come over here and share this so he can see what's going on because that's important. And I'm going to start out light as usual. Better to kind of grease into it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to
Oh,
start with board
loading. There it
games.
is.
which are always
Okay.
happy. They're always happy. All right. This is the Board Game Geek main page. I think I've showed it before. I wanted to show it again here today. Talk just to kind of take a look what's going on in the headlines. If you're interested in some of these board games and the conversations I've been trying to have with you guys, this is a great resource. This is just a normal, fun place. There's not really much politic over here, so that's good. But let's take a look at the hotness. I think. Let's do that. So we have the Siege of Runendar. I don't know that one. The Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is a remake actually. The original one was really cool. Oath Chronicles of Empire Exile. I don't know that one. Hippocrates. Oh, that sounds interesting. Robinson Crusoe is an older game that's actually very popular. Robinson Crusoe is like Aladdin or like the games I introduced last week, where basically you have a board and you're trying to survive, Robinson Crusoe, but it has a storybook. And there's actually a campaign that you could play through. It's like choose your own adventure type of. A lot of these games recently have kind of established that choose your own adventure into the board game mechanic. It's fun. That's a good one. Ooh, Marvel Champions, the card game. That's actually, I don't think it's as good as the old Marvel card game that was very popular, Marvel Versus. I don't know. Did you ever play that?
I have not actually.
Yeah. The Marvel Champions, I don't think it's as good, but it's not bad. It's a fun little game. Marvel United is a lot of fun. That's a miniature, you have a big board and it's like a map of the city, and you have your miniature superhero, Iron Man, Hulk or whatever, and you're going around and playing superhero. It's fun. Everdell, a big super hit. Dune Imperium, it's been on there forever. Let's see here. Sleeping Gods. I own this one. This is that hasn't been in the top 50 in a long time. It's a good one though. This is from the same guy, Ryan Lockett that I talked about last week. It's one of his first games. Good. Arkham Horror, the card game. Excellent. Australia. I don't know this one. It looks cute though. Terraforming Mars, big hit, came out a few years ago. Gloomhaven, mega hit. Childress's game here. I remember his first game. He came out. He came out of nowhere and he demanded a place, and damn if he didn't take it, dude. Good on him. I respect that shit. There's actually I hear rumors of a movie or TV show or animated series or something coming out of Gloomhaven. So wow. Uh, Underwater City is another old one, but a good one. This is a oddly enough an economic management game. You ever playing one of those?
I have not. An economic management board game.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually not bad. However, number 19 over here, Brass Birmingham is a much better version of that. And I don't understand why it's below that one. Underwater Cities, I guess, is a bit prettier, but the Brass board game. Matter of fact, let me. I'm not going to go through them all. Wingspan is a great game, by the way, as well. Let's take a look at Brass because this is an impressive game. Very impressive. Just looking at the board itself. Let's see if they get any. They got a lot of them, but that's not what I want. Maybe I just choose this little corner here. The board is really awesome, and basically what you're doing in this game is you're playing a railway tycoon in Britain. You know where it all kind of started, right? And you're trying to control areas and get resources, and it's an economic resource management game, and it's really well done. This board is stunningly gorgeous. This is in essence, a reboot of the original game, and it's beautiful, dude. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't know if you can really get a good respect for how gorgeous this board is, but this is a great game if you like those kind of things. Oh, look, they have some a better picture of the board here. There you go. It's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. It's not for everybody. Economic management games are, like Monopoly, but like 1,000 times better. You know, that kind of thing. Eric says Oath looks neat. That image makes me want to know more about it. Okay, well I can jump back over to it. I just thought it would be fun instead of me, choosing one out. Wingspan also is a great little game that was very popular. Let's go take a look at Oath because I don't know that one. That was in the top two. It's number three. It might be a new game, maybe. Let's see here. Oath Chronicles of Empire Exile 2021. Yep, it's a brandy new one. Huh. Interesting. It's a meeple game, which I'm always for that. So you have meeples on a board here. Let's take a look. Oh, it's a worker placement game. Okay, those are fun. Actually, just offhand, this looks a little like looks a little bit like Bell Tower, maybe. Yeah, it's some kind of resource management type of game that you're using meeples to gather your resources. That's fun. Does it have a book involved? Let me see. Oh yeah, it's got looks like it has one of those yeah, so this is I mentioned this become quite popular. They're using the choose your own adventure thing to make a campaign out of it. That's neat. Oh, I'd have to do some research. I don't really know, but it looks like you get a character and you're managing workers and you're collecting resources and you're running through a campaign. So yeah, yeah, cool. There you go. But anyway,
Interesting.
it is interesting, and the here's on the side the hotness list is right over here on the side. You can just look at it. It's always on the main page. Uh, and oh, Tammany Hall, that's a remake, and that's a really good one. There's always a lot of really good games, and the great thing about this place is they give you lots of detail. You can truly research a game and decide if you want to spend money on it, and add it to your collection. It has ratings from lots of people. It has details. It'll have reviews down here in the video sections and et cetera, et cetera. Even places where you can get it cheaper. Board Game Geek is an absolute awesome resource for board games. And I've actually had several conversations with the owner of Board Game Geek. And he is. You ever met anyone, Thundero, who is just way, way overly enthused about their job and their hobby?
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
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 oh
yeah.
yeah.
He's one of those. But he's got money though.
That's
Yeah.
when you want to just tell them, all right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
enough.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. All right,
Calm
thank
down,
you. Yeah,
calm down.
this guy. But it's impressive what he's built, though. I mean, this is a true board game archive on the internet. No joke. Every board game in existence, which is thousands and thousands of them. Understand that is on this site. You can find information about any board game that exists, reviews, etc., etc. Everything you need about any game is right here, right? It also talks about conventions and all the other things if you want to get into that world. But yeah, all right. Well, there's some cool looking games there, and Oathis looks good, looks pretty. I like worker placement games. They're always fun because on your turn you have maybe it's each turn you have a chance to put a meeple out somewhere. And you can gather this resource or that resource to try to get to some end goal. My favorite version of it, I've already talked about here. We've even played it on the show. Is Lords of Waterdeep. It has a Dungeons and Dragons Waterdeep connection, so that's a bonus for me. But it's also, I think, the most smooth and fun playing work placement game ever. I love it because in that game, what you're doing is you have intrigue that you're trying to do because you're one of the mercantile lords of Waterdeep, right? And you're trying to have become the most successful, underground merchant possible. And what you're trying to do is finish missions, and you need to collect the right amount of people to do it, and those are represented by color cubes. It's a lot of fun. Lords of Waterdeep's great. Anyway, let's move on. But I like to start it with some lighthearted fun, Thundero, because it just gets ugly.
Light-hearted fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Not allowed to have that anymore if you're a straight white male, Chester. You know,
I
that's the
suppose
rules.
so. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and just dive head deep. Oof.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier's Erin Kellyman, oh, that's a name, defends her character, Carrie, I'm not even going to try it, terrorism, as fighting for a good thing.
Well, Morgenthau is the flag smasher in the comic book, right? This is of course a gender swap of the original flag smashers, which she now they're clearly she's the boss, so they're kind of doing their gender swap, but it's a soft one because there's a team of people with her. right? But technically it is a gender swap, and she even mentions this in this article. And I have to give her credit because clearly she's an albino black girl with red hair. It's amazing she gets any work at all. But no, nothing. No, I'm just gonna let that fly right by. Huh? All right, fine. All right. I think I've lost Thunder. No, there he is. All right, there you
Oh
go.
yeah, you did because I looked over at the WrestleMania on the other screen, and they've already done something incredibly stupid. But continue.
Well, wrestling's gonna do that. I mean, it's all right. But here's the question I have for you, Thunder. I mean, it's serious. This is a serious question. Um,
Yes.
can you recall at any time in your life an actor who is playing a villainous character praising the actions of the character? Have you?
Praising? No.
No, right?
Explaining? Maybe, but
Yeah,
not.
oh, of
I don't know
course,
about
explaining.
praising.
Yeah, yeah. No, the explaining thing is definitely true. But praising it, no, I can't recall. And if any guys in the chat can, please let me know because I can't recall any actor doing that. Hey, Arlene. Eric's in here as well. Glad to have you guys. Of course, I did a read from Ray Thule a moment ago, so awesome. But yeah, no, basically what's happening in this article is they're talking. She's so proud about her gender swapping. Okay, fine, whatever. That's nothing new. But she's also very proud of playing the character because I don't know if you guys been watching Winter Soldier. Sounded like it was kind of my burden to do it. But basically, flag smashers are Antifa. That's what it is. And she's very proud to represent that concept, right? Because in the end, it's, whatever it takes to get what you think is right is therefore right, right?
Right.
So that's the liberal thinking.
Oh, she's playing. She's playing Flag Smasher.
She is, yes.
What? Why is? I'm just not even going to ask the question.
Yeah,
I warned you all.
don't.
I warned all of you. This was coming. It was coming, and it's only going to get worse.
Well,
Only going to get worse.
Well, here's the thing. Now, with WandaVision, I only saw the first two episodes, but I didn't really get any kind of woke vibe out of it. And from listening to you guys, it really didn't have that. But it would just, it was exactly what we thought it was going to be, right?
Yeah.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I still want to slap someone about that. Um, it's ultra woke, dude. Black Lives Matter references,
Yeah.
Antifa references with the flag smashers, etc., etc. And she just thinks it's wonderful that representing it. But I think this article, Donald Edmonds here, who wrote this article, I think he missed one critical 2 seconds of dialogue from episode 2. In that because you have this story is kind of, as all their stories are going to be playing on the blip, right? The 5 years people were missing from Thanos, and basically this article is written from the point of view that she's fighting for those who have been disenfranchised, the people who have come back, and they're trying to help her, but she's willing to murder and kill for it, right? Therefore, she's just a terrorist. That's not actually what she said. That's not what her character said. Her character is upset that all the people who were gone from the blip that have come back are getting their lives back. That's what she's upset about. Because during that 5 years, they had to obviously would have been radically stressful for everybody, and they had to readjust and find a way to move on. And with people coming back, well, they're starting to try their best to give these people their lives back, as you would. And she's against it. They are against it, the flag smashers, right? She's a pure villain. She's a
What?
murderer. Uh,
Why are
eh,
they? Why are they called Flag Smashers if they're not?
that's a
I'm not doing it. You're not sucking me into it, Marvel,
it's a
into your
comic book wink,
regressive
wink, wink,
bullshit
wink,
where I have to ask questions because
wink.
what you're doing is retarded. It's stupid. It's just dumb. There's no other way to explain it. It's like looking at a person who's stupid, who does stupid things and trying to rationalize it.
Uh
Just
huh.
don't.
Yeah,
Just
don't
accept that they're
don't.
stupid and let it go.
That's right. It is stupid. You're correct. But I don't know. I don't understand why a lot of people do things they do. Thundera. Roger Heller says, talk about gender swap. Chester, please don't talk about the transgender Republican that is running for governor of California. Please don't talk about that. I shan't. I wouldn't touch that with my own dick. Maybe Thundero's.
No,
No,
no, no,
he
no.
refuses. He's not a game
Thank you,
player.
thank you. No, in fact.
Yeah, I don't care, dude. I don't care. I don't even care about transgenders, gays, and stuff like that. Whatever, be
I'm here to
peaceful.
explain the flag smashers.
Oh, you can try, my lovely Mr. Eric. Go ahead.
No, it's kind of goofy. They want to destroy all nations and everybody be under one nation, so they want to destroy all the flags.
Oh yeah, it's the Antifa globalist, the
Yeah,
communist
yeah,
thing.
that's
Yeah,
what it. You're exactly right. It's
yeah,
it's Antifa, and she's happy to be part of it.
yes. This
For once, I
actress.
agree with you.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm happy to have you in
I
here
have been
agreeing with me.
enjoying the show, though.
I can't, dude. I can't. I can't. I can't. It's no, no. I can't. You know what drove me out of it? Not all the woke nonsense. I mean, that's to be expected. What drove me out was the
Mhm.
whole damn sit down with a frickin' psychiatrist. That drove me out. It's like,
Oh,
what
when
the
they
hell?
when Bucky and Sam were in there, and they had to scissor each other.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
this week's it was pretty much telling you how America's bad and America's bad and America's bad.
Well, sure, they're going to
And
make
to
Walker.
believe in and to believe in a country and to have faith in a country, that's wrong.
Well, they're going to make Johnny Walker the ultimate bad guy. Whereas when he played a U.S. agent, I mean, he had trouble adapting. He couldn't. He wasn't Cap in the end.
Right,
He
right.
wasn't a villain, right? But he's pure. He's straight up villain in this, right? Of course,
Yeah,
bad white
yeah.
man. I just can't do it, dude. I can't. I gave up. I gave up. Sorry. I'm weak, Eric.
Don't be sorry. It's quite all right. We understand.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you do. But just an idiot kid. I don't even really blame her. I mean, when you're a kid, you're supposed to be an idiot, really. But
Yeah, I've never seen her in anything other than Solo, so I don't know what else she's done.
yeah, no, she played the most kick-ass of kick-assery things. Yes. She is an
She was in
odd person.
Kick-Ass.
No, that would have been probably give her a little bit of fame. But I don't want to knock on the kid. She is an albino black girl though. She's an
I'll
interesting
knock on her.
thing.
She's hard to look at. She's
She
really hard to
is
look at.
she is hard to look at. Yeah. But I mean, you gotta give her credit. I mean, she's standing between two worlds right now, and that's something, right? And she's a
Hmm.
redhead. So I get the fact that she's got work. Good on her, dude. I mean,
She's confused.
well, she's a kid, but it's got to be tough for her because she's clearly black. One of her parents is, but she's also got that Irish parentage in there, and it's got to be tough for her. I mean, these ones they have to apologize for existing these days, you know. Um, Newsom is dickless, so it's tic tac toe, tick for tack. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. But I'm going to move on from this. But it's just a dumb kid, and the show is dumb. Antifa is not the good guy, you absolute pricks. Anyway, moving on. Oh, we have more of it.
Report: Sony is now focusing exclusively on blockbusters. Smaller studios being made to work on Naughty Dog release.
This is my beginning of my video game segment, Thundera. Um,
Sony's done,
they
bro.
well
They're
they
done.
they are.
They're done. There's no coming back now. They're gone.
Well,
They will
actually,
be gone within the decade. There will be no Sony anymore. Someone will buy them up all the way in Japan. They'll buy it all up.
well,
It's over.
that's what
There's
I
no coming back.
that's what I wanted to talk about. Um, Sony, Japan had a meeting like a couple of months ago, and because they were making so many poor decisions, they're losing money left and right, and they kind of hit the head recently. And actually, that sale that you're talking about, it's underway,
Yeah, yeah, they're
and
done.
they're completely. It looks like they're going to be completely sold to the Anaheim division in
Hmm.
California. So Sony is basically no longer a Japanese company at all. It's just a California company.
Oh,
Yeah.
A California company whose main audience is in Europe. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Who
actually,
makes things that only either sell greatly in Europe or in California, because most of the rest of America doesn't really buy their shit. The
well,
only thing that did sell was the PlayStation 4 sold decently, but their main audience, their devout audience, is European. Has been for 2 decades now.
right, and they haven't made solid money on a venture in quite a while,
No.
which is why the Japanese pulled the trigger. But of course, it's their fault for moving their company to California. Now, Razorfist disagrees. He thinks they've sucked forever, which he's not wrong, I guess. It's unfortunate because Naughty Dog has gone straight woke, 100% pure woke. And they have the power behind them, and all these little companies that got bought out by Sony and saw it as a good opportunity are now in the shit, dude. They are in it
Well,
because
what'll happen is a lot of those companies, maybe even Naughty Dog, will break away. They'll buy themselves out of being owned or whatever.
right,
Happens sometimes when this kind of stuff happens, when the big conglomerates basically break up. I mean, that's what's happening to Sony. They can
it
pretend they're
is.
just moving,
It
but
is.
that's not what's happening. They're getting broken up.
Yeah, and of course they're showing some of the great moments of Sony here because they have had some beautiful moments. Shadow of the Colossus being one of them, and of course Days Gone By. People have enjoyed that, and of course the original Last of Us, and that's what makes the Last of Us 2 so sad, really, because that was a really good game. The narrative was a good game narrative. I mean, we play games for different reasons, right? But this one was for the story, really. But
Mm.
Yeah, no, I put this article up here because it's just another example of another brick in the wall for Sony. Yeah.
Yeah, and the real shame is Naughty Dog. The Uncharted series is my favorite series on the PlayStation console, and they haven't done anything of note. The Last of Us 2 was a joke, and everybody knows it.
Well, we c-
Since Uncharted 4, that was the last game they made that mattered,
well
and they haven't. That's a decade ago almost.
yeah, but we covered that news way back, quite a
Yeah,
while back, of them basically going to reboot the Uncharted series with a girl,
of
and
course.
it's like, well, we already have that. It's called Tomb Raider. So
Yes. Well, not
yeah.
only that, it's if it's the same creative force that was behind this, nobody's gonna want that. The only reason this game sold the way it did is because of the first one. Because people wouldn't be deterred. They were sure it would be good because the first one was great. Uh
yeah,
huh.
and
Mm-hmm.
actually, it didn't sell anywhere near as much as they thought it would.
No, no.
But did you ever play any of the? Did you play Last of Us, the original one, Eric?
No, and I never did. I haven't had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2. I switched it over to Xbox after that. So I
Okay.
missed out on some of the Sony exclusives I really would have liked to have played, but I had to choose one system over the other, and I chose
Well,
the other.
yeah, no, I've made those mistakes myself. Way back when the PlayStation 2 came out, I had a choice of either buying that or buying the Sega Dreamcast. I went
Ooh,
with the better
ooh,
machine, which was the Sega
ooh.
Dreamcast. Yeah, that was a mistake. Um, then I got the Xbox. Then I said, screw it, and I just bought both. Yeah.
Mm.
My children took them all when they left my house.
When my son left the house, he bought me an Xbox One.
Aw, here, Dad, take this.
He
I'll take
left
the
me a
Xbox
system and
Four.
left.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. Yeah, uh, I'm a PC player anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I have no consoles in the house right now at all. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not
Um.
missing
we use
anything
it
really.
to stream cable.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Uh.
The only game that I haven't played that I've wanted to play is the Spider-Man game for the PlayStation 4. Other
Yeah,
than
that
that,
Oh,
looked
I
there's
heard
good.
that
nothing.
was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looked good.
And the only other game that I even thought looked cool, I'm playing right now because they released it on PC. So there you go. Which is probably what will end up happening to all of these exclusives, because they're not going to be able to sustain themselves if they move to California. One, the built-in heritage that was in Japan is dead. They killed it with
They
stupid
did.
decisions.
They did. Yeah. They did.
And the California market isn't going to be prosperous enough for them to make that
Well,
size money back.
they've already proved
I
that.
don't see them. Yeah, I don't see them surviving. I think Sony will die off by the fully by the end of the decade.
Well,
They'll be gone.
it's been a slow process already,
Yeah.
but it's unfortunate. I wanted to kind of mention that because I don't know if everyone understands that Sony is basically selling itself to the California division is what's happening.
Are they selling all of Sony, or is it just the video game?
Well, now Sony
segment?
Entertainment at least. So the Anaheim division will end up with the video game, making software as well as the movie stuff. It sounds like. Are they going to sell PlayStation itself? I doubt it. I don't know though. It's all up in the air, rumor stuff right now, right? But
Interesting.
yeah, no. It's a sad state of affairs, really. And
And the worst part about it
100%.
for me, the worst part about it for me is that leaves Microsoft as the winner. Because Nintendo, while they dominate, they don't really even fight in the war, right? They don't care. They don't care. They're Nintendo. They're not going anywhere. They got more money than God. They don't care.
Yeah, never have. Yeah.
Microsoft, on the other hand, is a terrible, evil company.
Oh, yeah.
Just period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're competing with Amazon, right? They're right there at the most evil company in the world, and they're happy to be there. By the way, they're not ashamed of who they are.
You see, Billy Gates' new initiative. You see it?
Oh, which one?
Is it drinking the poop water?
Oh no. He's basically going to see the atmosphere with thousands and thousands of planes to reflect light from the atmosphere, therefore, so we can cool the planet down.
Yeah, I did see that.
I'm not.
What's hilarious is if you actually look at the climate data, our planet is dangerously too cold.
It is.
If it gets any colder, we're in an ice age that might not end for 100 years, at least 1,000 years, whatever.
You know why? Do you know why we're actually in a cool down? Are you aware? The sun has a cycle, you see, like everything else.
Yes.
And it's currently in its kind of sleep mode, and it'll be that way for the next 6-8 decades. So this happens all the time. It's nothing new. It's not a shock. We did have one recorded moment of it where it did bring on a minor ice age about 400 years ago. Billy's going to mess with the atmosphere, and I was like, how could anyone even think about doing that? The whole damn climate thing that we've been listening to our whole life, Eric, has been about stopping the greenhouse effect. Is it not?
Yeah, it started out, don't use hairspray. It's going to destroy the ozone back in the early 80s.
Don't use your air conditioners, your refrigerators. Destroy it all.
Terrified us back then.
They did. And of course, now they want to super effect a greenhouse effect to throw us into an ice age. That's the plan? These people are twisted, dude. And Billy ain't joking. He ain't joking.
Speaking of the Japanese, Sony, it was the Japanese scientists that in the 90s, when they were still going on about the ozone layer and the big hole in the ozone layer, they proved that hole's probably always been there, pretty much always has, and it expands and closes on a cycle like everything else. It's fine.
Yeah, it's part of the...
This planet ain't going anywhere. We're not that powerful yet.
No.
Sorry, scientists that think you're God, but you're not.
No, and of course that ozone thing, it's just part of the electromagnetic field of the Earth. That was all bullshit. But everything is. This politic thing is not new. Just to let you know. But anyway, let's move on because I got more to say in the video game department. You ready? Boom.
Yes.
Go ahead.
This land is my land. Developers harassed by critical race theorists over games' Native American-inspired content.
Okay.
Why?
Now, you get to play an Indian, going around killing the white man.
Awesome. I'm in.
It's a gorgeous video game. It's a great survival game. It is cool. It's a great game. I just find it funny that they're complaining about something that kills the white dude. You would think they'd be all overjoyed about it.
Well, wait. See, now for a decade and a half now, at least, they've been harassing everybody about positive representation in media. Okay, fine. Here you go. Not good enough because, why? He's violent? Because he kills people? What's the issue here? It's not being made
I
by
think-
all Native Americans. The color of the people's skin making it is wrong. It needs to be of a red tint, or it shouldn't be made.
That's right. I think that's
The main character here looks like an Indian, so that's what's offensive. We can't have anything look like an Indian.
In
I
a
guess
game
so.
about
Even
Indians.
if it's an Indian.
Yeah. But this critical race theory thing is really starting to pop off, and this isn't new. This has been around for a while. And when I was younger in university, it was kind of looked at as a joke. But I guess it ain't a joke anymore. But this is stupid. It's actually a really fun game. It's well done. It's gorgeous. It's a true next gen graphic game, dude. And you play as an Indian who's trying to fight for your little tribe survival, and you kind of have to build your little tribe's area, and you build up more tribe members, and you have to push back against the invading white men. That's what the game is, and it looks great fun, dude.
Can you
does,
choose
yeah.
to receive whiskey for trading your land?
I think you should be able to. But
Well,
no,
you'd be
this
able
is
to, and some beads and dirty blankets.
But no, this is a war party game. So you're playing a
Oh.
brave, and you literally are fighting for your people. Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised that maybe it did, and I just didn't see it. But that Horizon Zero Dawn game, because like I said, people have gone back to tribes, right? That's how they live,
Yeah.
and they call them braves. And your tribe is like a multicultural, multiracial.
Yeah.
You know, they're the SJW dream, and everybody's a brave if you earn it, right? If you're a good enough warrior or whatever, you can become a brave. So I'm surprised that didn't get all kinds of flack because
It probably.
how dare
did.
you?
It probably.
And the
did.
lead character's a white redhead? How dare she exist in the future?
But it probably did. It was just at that time it wasn't loud enough yet to really get any attention. But yeah, no, the Indians don't own tribe. Yeah, all
No.
humans have those.
Yes. They don't own the word brave either, in fact. That's not theirs.
And of
Sorry.
course, it's not the Indians that are making noise anyway. We all know it's white
No.
Karens.
Yes.
We know, right? Well,
And they'll have their literal token redskin. They'll have that person that they push out in front. See, this guy's offended. While it's 30, while the whole rest of the room's full of white people, white women.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. It's almost like a joke, but it's not funny anymore.
It's not. No.
Because they not only do they not own the word tribe. Of course, I'm not making any comment because the Indians aren't making noise at all. But also black people don't own the word black. Did you know that, Eric?
They don't?
We use it for other things too.
I don't think so. I mean, I take my coffee dark gray.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'm not allowed to say black anymore when I go to the restaurants.
Yeah,
I
fair
take
enough.
my coffee absent color. That's how I take my coffee. Thank you.
Was-
No
was-
color in my coffee.
Was that a joke, Eric? Can you not say I want black coffee anymore?
Well, eventually, I'm sure
Oh,
we
I
won't
see.
be able
Okay.
to, but no, I'll just no.
All right.
It was a
It's
joke.
not, but that's the thing.
Very
It sounds
poor-
plausible
very poor
these
dad
days.
joke.
Yeah, I see. But plausible. All right. So this is stupid. This is dumb because it's actually a really good game, and I suggest you go check it out. I mean, you can watch YouTube reviews and playthroughs on it. Check it out. It's a beautiful game, and it's really well done. This game has been getting praise for well over a year since it came out in its alpha. I don't even think it's in release yet, is it? But it's a really, really good game. So go to hell, critical race theorists.
It's a good concept too. I like it.
Oh, goodness, this one's a big hot
Oh
topic.
boy, these
Super hot.
people. Council on American Islamic Relations. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Issues called the Deplatform 6 Days in Fallujah claims game is an Arab murder simulator.
Well, if you're
Yeah,
fighting
I mean,
Arabs and you're killing
kinda is, yes.
Arabs, I
What's
guess
the problem?
it kinda is. They don't care about the killing of the white dudes, though. That's okay.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Poor orcs. I mean, pick a side, right? They defend the orcs.
What
and then
about,
they kill them?
I mean, I don't think I could be wrong, but I could ask the people in Fallujah if there are a lot of white people, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Arabs living in Fallujah. I don't know. Call me crazy, maybe. But listen, see, we can't offend anybody at all. Even this this nonsense organization that doesn't really even exist,
Yeah.
but only exists to funnel terrorist money
Yeah.
to as a money laundering
Oh, you
system for
mean
terrorists.
this here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get you.
We can't offend the literal terrorist money laundering.
Yeah.
We can't do that,
Don't
guys.
do that.
So we're gonna have to, when we make our video game in Iraq, in Fallujah, only white people. All right, there's only white people there. That's all that lives there. We're just gonna whitewash everything, so we don't offend the brown people.
I think that what's upsetting CARE, because they are a terrorist organization, don't be fooled. But
Yeah.
the reason they're upset is this. You see, during the taking of Fallujah and many of the things we had to do over in Iraq, basically the Muslim extremists, we had this trouble in Afghanistan as well. Basically, they would take families hostage in their own house, hide their soldiers and their weapons in the house, and use them as a shield. So the American troops coming in, or I guess you could say the unified troops. Okay. Anyway, had to come in and fight their way house to house, and quite a few civilians died in the crossfire, just like in Okinawa. Same thing. Japanese were using the Okinawans as shields, literally walking with them, tied to their bodies, pushing them along as they went, shooting at the American soldiers. Same thing. And this game shows exactly what happened, and they don't like the truth. They don't like it.
No, the truth is inconvenient
Yeah.
to liars.
Yeah.
And
I just had $1 million
like that.
idea.
Did you?
Yes, we need to develop. Us three, we could do it. We just need to find someone who can create a video game for us. We'll call it Black Lives Matter, and they just go around killing white people.
Yeah.
They'll sell millions. We will be millionaires. We won't agree with it, but we will have money.
Yeah, that's true. Money's more important. But my point being is, here are three stories, right? We have Sony going to hell and going full woke, or well, they've already been full woke, but just embracing it no matter what. We have a game that's actually a great game being bounced on simply because it has what? Indians? And we have literal freaking terrorists, Hamas, CARE, as they're known in America, demanding a game being taken down, and they're getting traction, by the way. This is the state of your video game world. Joy. Have fun. Unbelievable, yeah?
No, it's not, because people are too comfortable living in their little bubbles, conceited, thinking that it cannot happen. It won't happen. Everything will be fine. Everything will work out. Like I'm sure all of the Russians did before the Soviet Revolution, or the Bolshevik Revolution, let's call it what it was, and the Chinese nationalists did before they were wiped out by the communists in the Color Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, things can go bad for you too. There is no one coming to save you. We're going to have to save ourselves from these sicko psychopaths who would, if they had the ability and the power, wipe out every white person on this planet.
Oh, they would.
And I don't just mean Muslims. They would definitely do it, by the way. I mean these weird racial communists, and they're all weirdos. Every one of them's a freak.
Yeah,
Everyone. There's not a normal one among them. They would do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Don't let them lie to you. Even if you have family members who tell you, no, never. I don't hate white. They hate white people. That's what they hate.
Of course they do. Yeah, of course they do. But the interesting thing I noticed about this, guys, because I watched the trailer and I saw some other stuff here over the past couple of weeks as this noise has been building, and the game actually depicts things quite accurately, which is why they're upset. But one of the things that depicts very well, I thought, that is ironic to the argument, is in America, our military is voluntary, and it's been that way since 1976, I think, 77. Most people who join the military tend to be of a lower income. I'm not talking about officers. That's you have to go to a college and stuff of that. But the average soldier, which means they're going to be made up of a lot of blacks, a lot of poor white people, a lot of Latinos. That's the bulk of the people who are going to make up your military in America, because we're not homogenous people, right? And the game depicts that. It has all colors of people fighting with the American uniform on, and it's interesting that there's no mention of this. It's just bad American because most of the people you see in the video game are not white.
The fact that anyone in our government listens to CARE when we all know everybody who's done any, even just basic level research on this organization knows who they are, knows what they are. The fact that they're allowed to exist
Yeah,
at
that's
all
right.
in this country is treason. Pure, there's no other word for it. Everybody involved should be publicly executed by the state for
Well,
treason.
okay, that's a bit extreme. But
No, no,
well,
it isn't.
they
They're
should be
terrorists. They
arrested.
committed
They
treason.
should be arrested as terrorists because we know they are, and that's technically, I don't know, illegal. Yeah, it is. But yeah, that's okay though. Just don't be the wrong type and disagree, and then you get arrested and go to jail for 10 years. Curious TUA says, do you all remember the game State of Emergency? It was a pro Antifa game. Yeah, that's right. Bullet says, change the names of the enemies to the Bada. Okay. But it's interesting. Interesting state of affairs going on in video games. And I've been saying this for a couple of years now, and I'm still sticking to it. Because we keep saying, well, don't they want to make money? Don't the executives want to make money? Are they hurting themselves? Get woke, go broke, et cetera, et cetera. I have said from the beginning, this is all about man hating, is how it started, and women hating, to be fair. And it's about destroying the toys that boys like. It has never been about making money. It's about destroying it. And I'm telling you, they've been successful, dude. They have successfully torn down everything. Think of the state of Doctor Who. Think of the state of Star Trek. Think of the state of Star Wars. Think of the state of video games. Even board games have been affected. Comic books. Everything that guys like, they have torn down and destroyed successfully. And I think that's the
And Mr.
intention.
Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head as well. It's not about making money. It's not about being successful. It's simply about destruction. And I think they've gotten exactly what they want. I really do. I don't. I think people misunderstand what's going on. They're not trying to change something and make make money in the future off of a new, more wide awake and woke world. No, 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 no. They're just trying to tear it down. I truly believe that's what's going on. And every one of these stories we talk about, it just encourages my thoughts. Anyway, that was my video game segment. Did you like that? No.
Sweet.
Nice. Moving on.
Official Star Trek website promotes communism as key to real-world realization of series' utopian future.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
really trying to get me to scream tonight, aren't you,
I
Chester?
am, sir. I am. Well, we are talking communism. That's the theme. Yeah, Marxism in particularly, just so we cover all our bases. But here's this is a general argument I've heard for my whole life. Star Trek is not a socialist utopia. Star Trek is a
Correct.
resource-based utopia, right?
And it's not a utopia,
It's
by the way.
not. No, then that's kind of the thing. It's an attempting to be a utopia, but
Yeah.
it's a resource-based economy is what the system is. It's so therefore there's no money and et cetera, things like that. That's not Marxism. And people they really seem to think Marxism is about like everyone working together in a community, and that's where the word communism comes from. But that's not what Marxism philosophy is at all. Star Trek, Roddenberry's Star Trek has nothing to do with socialism in the least. It has to do with a resource-based situation where Earth has come together. We've put in all our troubles aside, and the troubles in our life are coming from other cultures who have not become as enlightened as we are is the general goal, right?
Right.
Dirty
Well,
Klingons.
dirty Klingons, but and the Andorians are awesome. But this is an interesting misunderstanding. I guess I could say interesting, but it's this dude again, this Nyoyin guy. this fella, this Asian fella. He's called the Star Trek communist. He's been around. I've seen his comments many times. He loves everything that Kirkman and Bad Robot are doing, and he's just kind of going on bashing the fash, I guess, as it were. Here he is a picture. He's got his Romulan ale and his Batalev. Why are you wearing a a Federation uniform then, sir? Huh? Why? Why? Both those things are illegal. They're both illegal. All right. Anyway, you don't know your Star Trek, sir. Well, am I right? Am I right?
You're right.
Yeah, I am damn right. But this idiot he's going on and saying that we need to be more like Star Trek and we need to embrace communism because that's the only future where we can all survive. And of course, it shows
I don't.
his well, it shows
That
complete
assumes
lack.
that we want. That assumes that we want everybody to survive.
Well,
I don't know. I've been watching Star Trek all my life. I don't remember too many Muslims waltzing around in there.
No,
I don't remember too many Christians waltzing around in there. In fact, I don't think there's religious people at all.
no, there was
Seems to be a very atheistic society.
yes, and they made fun of religion
Uh,
several times. But
yeah.
this idiot, who's supposed to be an expert on Star Trek, doesn't know anything about Star Trek at all. And my explanation that Roddenberry's vision had nothing to do with socialism whatsoever is just compounded by this picture right here. I was joking, but I'm not joking. If you understand Star Trek, Romulan ale is illegal.
Yes.
As is carrying a bat'leth. These are illegal things. He does not understand Star Trek, but yet he's got an opinion. And because his opinion is the right opinion, he gets access.
Yeah. They clearly don't understand what the Star Trek world is.
No.
There's no money. It does not mean there is no trade. It does not mean that there's no private property, because there obviously is. It does not mean that there is no economy or government, which is the goal of communism, to become completely anarchistic, no government at all. It does not mean that any of that's true, and that there's no, that everything's shared. That's not true. We know that's not true. It also doesn't mean there's no crime. Earth is not a utopia. There's still crime. There's still penal colonies because people still commit crimes.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just nonsense. It's complete and utter nonsense made up by people who want to inject their religion, because that's what it is. It's a religion into everything. Everything, even places where it doesn't belong. The reason why Star Trek society can function is they've defeated need. Like basic human needs, they have the technology to eliminate. They can create shelter basically instantly, food instantaneously with a press of a button.
Yes.
Everything is so abundant to them because of their technology that they don't need money. Instead, they trade their time and they trade their energy directly to be a part of society, basically.
Yeah, to do.
And then Starfleet
something.
is an honor unto itself, right? Only the best of the best get into Starfleet Academy, and only the best of the best graduate from Starfleet Academy, according to all of the episodes and writings ever. None of that is communism. None of it.
No.
There would be no Starfleet Academy under communism. Couldn't exist.
No. Well, it would be a different thing. It would be the KGB. But
Yes.
but this is their complete misunderstanding of what a resource-based utopia would be. But that's okay. I don't expect any of these people to have any kind of intelligence whatsoever. Because since old J.J. Abrams, boy, we didn't know the threat he was, did we? We just thought he was a hack, but he turned out dangerous. They have been pushing this angry, broken humans, angry, deceptive, evil thing from the get, dude. They've been doing it, and it's once again, you could do this in many media. It's a very common trope, but it's not Star Trek.
No.
And this is why you fans have walked away. And
one other thing, communists like this guy, I'm sure, rail on about capitalism, capitalist, blah, 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 blah. There's no capitalism in Star Trek because there's no need for it anymore.
No.
Capitalism's not, some divine thing that we've created here. It's just a necessary. It's the best of a bad situation because scarcity still exists.
Yeah.
So the best way to spread those resources is to actually have people earn them, pay for them through capital. and private property and own them and control them. Now, some people will hoard and be selfish, if you want to call it that, with their things instead of bringing them to market, but that's their decision. Other people will bring other things to market and replace them. It happens all the time. That's the idea, the basic. Obviously, our system is not like that anymore for various reasons. But the reason, if we could get to a situation where technology has made all things basically free, all needs basically free, then yeah, we wouldn't need capitalism anymore. Of course, they would abandon it and abandon the very concept of money because they wouldn't need it. What would they need it for?
True. Can I turn on my professor badge for a second? I usually don't, but
Yes.
do you mind,
Go
Eric?
for it.
Okay, it's on. None of the people who are listening to my voice have ever grown up in capitalism.
Correct.
You don't know what capitalism is. It has not existed in our lifetime. It hasn't existed for over 100 years. Which you live inside of is an oligarchy and a controlled economic system. You see, actual capitalism is something we would call free market. And we've had examples of free market in our life, just not where we were living. Germany and Japan, for instance, had free market up until the 70s or so. And then coming into the 80s, both of them, their governments started getting involved and doing what governments do. We put free markets, actual true free markets, in those places to help them recover quickly, and they did. You just have not actually experienced a true capitalistic system because socialism has been laid over it blanket by blanket, decade after decade, since the incursion in America, particularly of the Social Security system and the IRS, which was created at the turn of the 20th century. That's the reality.
1913.
Yes.
The worst year in American history.
Yep. On a Christmas Eve, where everyone was, all the senators and congressmen
I
were
would
home.
say we've gotten the closest any of us have gotten was the young internet. The early internet was the
Maybe.
freest society, whatever you want to call it, that any of us have ever experienced. And that's why, of course, they've come in and they've shut all that down as hard as they could. It's why social media was created by the powers that be. And people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Twitter, Facebook, that wasn't created by Dorsey and Zuckerberg. Those things were propped up and funded by the state. They were. That's a fact. No one can deny it. They don't even deny it.
They don't deny it.
They'll tell you they're government contractors.
Of course
they did this to get the internet under control. They have them under
showed that in the movie.
umbrellas. Yeah. Yes. They have them under 3 umbrellas now: Google, Twitter, and Facebook. These are who control the internet. It didn't used to be this way. The internet used to be free, and it's not anymore. It was curtailed. It was corralled.
And it will become more and more so as we go forward. The only thing I would say that might resemble true capitalism would be Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, and I would say the black market. That you want free trade. There you go. They're just harder to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course,
any kind of black market or illegal trade would be actual capitalism. That's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I just put this in here because my theme is communism, and dumbass. You are a dumbass, and
very stupid. Very, very stupid. It's the same kind of people who will sit around and talk all day about how Jesus was a socialist. What are you talking about? He was a theocratic monarchist.
Yes, he was. He was a monarchist for sure, if he existed. Anyway, Bullet says he looks like a short order cook from Benihana. I agree. Gold pressed platinum. See, and that's why the Ferengi was so successful in the Next Generation, was because they represented us as we are now, right?
And the best part about the Ferengi is, they were scummy, but they didn't have any of the stuff in their history that our history does, according to them anyway. There's a whole, I can't remember what episode it is, but I think it's Quark laying into somebody because their history isn't as ugly as ours is. They don't have history of these big slavery and this holy wars and all this stuff, because all they ever cared about was making money. That's all they ever cared about.
The rules of acquisition, sir. But anyway, let's move on. I do have a continued theme. When more with Star Trek. Boom!
Star Trek announces new film, but doesn't provide any details. Well, that was I'm elucidated. Thank you.
2023. Yeah, it's coming out. And of course, it is still Bad Robot. CBS Paramount is on their literal knees, and I'm kind of wondering who's going to come in and buy them because they're dead. They've really screwed up really bad by bringing in Bad Robot, and they're stuck behind the eight ball because I do believe these movies are being forced upon them because of the ridiculous contract that they put in charge put into J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot. And the thing is they were like, "Oh, he's the next Spielberg." They bought it hook, line, and sinker, baby. Hook, line, and sinker.
I don't even want Spielberg to make a Star Trek movie. I don't
No.
think he could do it.
Nah, he wouldn't be good at that. That's true.
No,
I wouldn't mind seeing Frank Miller do it.
it could be interesting.
Yeah, that could be interesting. But no, it's just yeah, no. And Star Trek Discovery, of course, STD has its season 4 coming out here very shortly, if it's not out already. They're continuing the pain. The pain is nonstop, Eric, nonstop. Now,
Seems like it.
are you a Trekkie or a Trekker, sir?
Trek-E or a Trekker? What's the difference there?
Trekker is a person who just likes Star Trek. A Trekkie is a fan.
Say it. I'm in between.
Okay. All right. Which would mean you're
Like it. I'm a
Yeah.
fan. So
Yeah. I don't know. I always preferred Star Trek over Star Wars, for instance. I do love and enjoy Star Wars, or at least the original 3, and some of the books and stuff, video games. But Star Trek is more my jam. Because Star
I've
Trek.
always been the opposite then.
Oh well, there you go. Because Star Trek is true sci-fi, whereas Star Wars isn't. It's fantasy, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I like the sci-fi aspect, but it's dead. It is dead. Yep, definitely dead. Yep. Okay, moving on. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm laughing. Logan Paul just got stunnered by Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, and
Sweet.
that makes me happy. Actor Siaka reveals Hollywood is not only racist but discriminates against people on the right. Wait a minute. You can't do that. You can't play both sides. What are you doing?
Yeah, he is playing both sides, and that's why I put it here.
Oh, no. I love it. I love the moxie in that.
I know.
Just
Yeah.
do it. Do it, bro. I love it.
Siaka Masakoi. And
that's actually a good name. I like the name. I just didn't want to butcher it.
It's very African. It's very Ivory Coast, actually.
It reminds me of the Always. I don't know if you've ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Chester.
No.
But I think you would. The Degenerate in you would enjoy it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But there's an episode in there where one of the characters decides to play both sides of a conflict, but he's stupid and keeps telling both sides that he's playing both sides.
Oh, okay.
And that's the joke. That's what this reminded me of.
It shows a lack of awareness. But the odd thing with it, guys, is he is right on both accounts. Hollywood is racist, and particularly against the colored folk, and they always have been. And they also are discriminating against the right, as they always have. This is nothing new. Do keep in mind the immortal Charlie Chaplin was a communist, right?
Yeah.
So this is nothing new. Hollywood has always been this way, and it's the right-minded people, the artistic people tend to live on their emotion, and logic and common sense just eludes them, right? But I just thought it was funny because it's like, dude.
Well, I find it interesting that I'm assuming he's from Africa with a name like that,
or he could be John Brown for all we know, but
But let's just assume he's from Africa.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me that I guess it's a stereotype at this point. The African black person tends to be more rational than at least the ones that are promoted in America.
And
the African Americans
more deadly.
Yeah, that's true. And they just seem to have a different. They obviously do. They have a different worldview than native African Americans do, as they call themselves. It's just interesting that, of course, that's who it's coming from. Is one of those African. I would assume he's either an immigrant or the children of immigrants.
Well, he looks
Uh,
African when you look at him. He does. He
yeah,
does
he
look
has
like a
African
black person.
features.
Yeah.
He's got the thin head like
Yeah, yeah,
Africans
yeah.
tend
The
to have,
eyes, yeah,
compared to
bulging eyes.
African Americans have wider skulls. Um, and yeah, it's an interesting thing. My wife used to work with a Nigerian lady who was the same way. She was extremely based, as it's called, and she just didn't have time for other black people's BS, and she would tell them that to their face,
That's
and it was
true.
hilarious.
That's true. Most Africans don't like blacks very much. And do keep in
No,
mind, people seem to misunderstand this. I've tried to elude them of their misunderstanding. I haven't been unsuccessful, I think, Eric. But black does not refer to African. It refers to the mulatto American.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. But let's listen to his voice real quick. Let me see.
If Hollywood's trying to sell about black people, the same
Nope.
thing that
He's
media's
straight
been
up
selling,
American.
that
Yep.
we're
He was born
for
John
us.
Brown. Yep. Uh,
let's look. I'm gonna look them up. You go.
Why does it have to be brown?
just
Andy
generic. Would you rather me? Would it rather be
John Smith.
Jerome Washington? Was that better for you?
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's just this. This is a PragerU video, by the way. It's just this I didn't listen to the interview. He could actually make some coherent or cogent points, but it's just dumb headline. I mean, look at it, dude. I mean, pick a side, brother. Pick a side. Although
That's the sad thing is he's right. He's not wrong. Hollywood has always been a little bit, generally speaking, it's passively racist. Like they'll have, token black guy or token white guy or whatever. But yeah, it definitely, that's real. There's no question about it. I just don't think it's really that big of a deal. The problem now is Hollywood is overtly racist towards white people and subtly racist towards everybody else.
Yeah,
because
that's
they've
the interesting
decided
thing.
Yeah, they've decided that the way they were doing it before was just horrible and wrong, and they've done a complete 180 on it. and now they're just full on overtly racist towards white people in a huge number of their films, and subtly racist towards everybody else because of the bigotry of low expectations, right?
Well,
they just assume
they're caught
too
up in the
much.
frenzy of it, right? This is
Yeah.
the blood's in the water, right? And Jiminy, the cranial description. I'm just kind of curious if Jiminy or any of the other guys in the chat, have you ever met an African? I mean, an actual African. I have. I've met several actual Africans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Nigerians around here, actually,
Yeah.
because the college here they come here for medical school.
Sure. Well, their mindset is very different. They're very different than an American. Obviously, they're not American. Whereas I've also met, black people from Africa as well. Not Africa, from Europe. They're very different because they're European. They're French or they're British or what have you. They're not of whatever of the five main cultures of Africa. They're not that, right? So they are very different in their attitudes, and I have met many Africans, and in general, the statement that Africans don't like Black Americans, particularly, is a truthful statement. They really don't. Now I don't know why. I can't. I haven't done a deep dive into understanding it, but is it jealousy? I don't know what it is. But that is a very truthful statement. We've met Africans, Chester. You have, okay. Because I guarantee you, not all Americans have met an actual African. I guarantee it, dude.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
It is interesting. I could give a story, but I won't waste the time on it. But well, whatever. Siaka, thank you. Okay, moving on. This one's wonderful. You're gonna love this one.
Oh boy! Lucasfilm confirms the new Indiana Jones movie will be woke, with announcement of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Well, just pick a name. I hate named. I don't care if you take the chick's name. I don't care if you take the guy's name, but you get one. You don't get two names. This isn't Rome. Get out of here.
I have 3 names.
Stop it.
Okay.
No, you
Outta here,
don't. Your last
Chester.
name's Busby.
My name is Chester Cornelius Busby III,
Yes,
sir.
but your surname is Busby.
Oh well, this is because she's probably married and she's woke, so she's got to have her name in
Yeah,
there and all that.
right.
Completely
Yeah.
misunderstand the point of lineage, whatever. But just to kind of give you a thing on the Phoebe, Phoebe here, this is her. Okay, yep, yep.
Oh God. Oh
Super,
no.
That
super. Let,
chin.
let me give you. Let me give you a
Oh.
little. Let's bring that up a little. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, there, super smug.
Oh.
Could you be
I
more
mean,
smug? Look at that. Oh.
Harrison, was a ruggedly handsome man in his younger days. That's just rugged in the wrong way. That's not an attractive female.
Well, that's
That's
okay.
That's a
that
That's not
shame.
the point of it.
rode hard and put away wet
That's
look.
my point of it.
Oh
Jeez.
God, you brought Eric brought the horse reference. Jesus, um, uh, but these days you can't have a pretty girl anyway. They've nixed that, along with many other things we've mentioned here. And some of them I would assume should be offensive to the other racial groups in America as well. But whatever. But the point with this lady is not her looks. It's the fact that she not only is a writer on the new Indiana Jones, and she also was the writer, the main writer on the 007 movie, which hasn't come out yet, as far as I know, but is ultra woke. She is an actress in the movie too, the principal
Uh,
actress. So there you go.
What?
She's writing and
Uh,
acting, and it's going to get woke, baby. She has stuff to say. She's so excited about absolutely destroying it. But more importantly, why in the hell do we have another Indiana Jones? Harrison is an old, angry man. Leave him alone. Let him sleep or die in his airplane.
he is a pretty angry guy, isn't he?
He is, dude. He's just pissy. Just
I love it.
pissy.
I love it about him. And he's always been. It's not like he's just old and maybe. No, he's always been cantankerous as hell. He's just. I love that about him. It's charming to me. I like it when people are just not nice because they can be.
He's a
Because he
curmudgeon.
can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen bulldogs prettier faces. Well, I wasn't. Yeah, okay. My whole point wasn't about her being pretty or not. I just kind of want to give you a reference. I do apologize. But yeah, she's all excited about her wokeness. So there you go. Indiana Jones, we
You
don't
see-
need, is coming.
Chester, we started this stream using old verbiage with swell and what was the one you said you heard recently?
Fiddlestick.
Fiddlesticks. Over here in the chat, we have Bullet Ninja Hagelman, who has decided to say that handsome women are making a comeback.
They
I
are.
don't think that's a term we need to make a comeback. Can we please leave handsome for females? Just let's leave
Well,
that in the past.
It used to be colloquial, though. It used to be.
Yeah, now it's rough, is what it is. You call a woman handsome, and you're
It's rough.
basically saying she looked like a man. That's
Yeah,
what you're saying to her.
basically what you're saying. Yeah.
It looks like a lady.
Yeah. Well, I just there's nothing really to talk about here. It's just simply this is what you got to look forward to. Yep, that's what you got to look forward to. And old Harrison, he's just going to take his paycheck and bitch for 30 minutes and then move on. So good on you. Get back in your airplane, sir. Back in the airplane.
Yeah.
I watched Indiana Jones for one reason. Harrison Ford was hot. Phew on a new one. Fooey. Oh, sorry, on a new one. Yeah, I agree.
Harrison Ford,
They shouldn't have
he
made
was
the
a
fourth.
pig
Huh?
back in the day. He was a stud.
Yeah, he
Women loved him.
was absolute stud, dude. Absolute.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have made the fourth one, at least the way they did. Passing the torch was what they were trying to do in the Crystal Skull. It's not a bad idea. Him taking on, he should have took on more of the role of Sean Connery as his dad, though. But the problem was they chose Shia LaBeouf, and they made some very bad choices.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made, and I have a feeling there's no confirmation here, but I have a feeling we are looking at the new Indiana Jones right here.
Probably. The worst part about old Harrison
Leave
is
that up there
yes,
for a minute.
he at one time, I don't know if he still is. I think The Rock finally beat him out, but at one time, for a long time, he was the #1 actor of all time as far as making money. He was involved directly in the biggest franchises with Indiana Jones and Star Wars. So he was the biggest box office draw, like per capita, of all time. I think The Rock's passed him now, though. But that was largely due to the fact that he had sex appeal. Women thought he was sexy.
And Rock's sexy too until his head got really small. I don't know how it shrank like that.
Well,
But
steroids.
yeah,
Steroids.
yeah, steroids.
Yeah.
But that was a joke. No, The Rock is a full-on action hero. True story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and good on him for that. But he needs to back up on the muscles. His head is getting real teeny. Of course, his head is, and his body's getting too big. But it's he need to back up. He had a perfect balance there for a while, dude.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah,
did.
I don't know why he's decided that he needs to literally look like some form of comic book character, like brought to life in size.
Yeah,
He's
it's too much.
he's almost as big as the damn Hulk. He's huge.
Colostomy Bag Jones. I agree, Alan. No, he's gone too far. But then again, there are many kinds of addictions, and working out the burner, the runner's burn, and all that. They are addictive. And this woman is. I don't know if I can. I don't think she's going to be very addictive. But I'm guaranteeing you, this is your new Indiana Jones. I'm telling you, they're going to reboot it with her. I'm telling
And
you.
it
Doesn't
will
do anything
flop.
for my addictive.
No,
It
certainly
will flop
not, sir.
incredibly hard. Listen, if you want to have a chick Indiana Jones movie series with him passing the torch, do the whole shebang, cool. But she's got to be attractive, or it's not going to work. I don't care if she's the best actress, since actresses were actresses. She has to look sexy. Because the reason Harrison sold it is he was sexy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, he was the everyman. Women found him attractive. Men wanted to be him. That's the ticket. That's your moneymaker right there. And Bullet says both heads are now smaller. Yeah, now why would you ever touch steroids? That right there is a reason not to touch it. Speaking of dicks, the thing with it is why are women so abusive of the penis? Why is that? They handle it so roughly. They're always scraping on it and banging on it and bending it. What's up with that?
Chester's had some bad experiences, it sounds.
Yeah, Chester, you okay? Do we need to talk to your wife?
They're always kind of just jamming on it. There's no respect whatsoever. No sensitivity.
Oh, Chester. The things you say.
I know. Jiminy says, The Rock cannot carry a movie on his own. All of his things flop unless he has an ensemble film. True, but when he does have an ensemble in there, he's fun. I don't have any trouble with The Rock in particular. He is an actual action hero, though. Is he as good as the action heroes of the 80s?
No.
I think he's better than some. I don't think he's no Chuck Norris.
He's no Stallone. He's no Schwarzenegger. He's just not. He's not the draw that they were by himself.
He falls into the Schwarzenegger category, though. He certainly does.
He's bigger than Schwarzenegger physically, if ever was.
Yeah, he is. He's much bigger. Schwarzenegger's.
He has the same. I would say he has a very similar level of charisma, maybe even more than Schwarzenegger. But I don't think he'll ever be the solo star that Schwarzenegger could be. At his peak, he was a draw, no question. Yeah, and The Rock, like Jimmy said, he's correct. Largely in his own movies, not always, but usually, he just doesn't draw on his own.
Yeah.
If he's in with other people, they're doing something. It's a pairing or an ensemble. He does fine. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon for whatever reason. I just don't know what it is. I think it's probably just the way people look at him. They kind of look at him as somebody to be with somebody else. He's not able to stand on his own, mainly probably because he's as big as a damn mountain. And it's kind of, it's hard to see him as vulnerable.
He is.
So he usually has a guy in there or a girl or somebody else that can do the vulnerable stuff.
Yeah, the little teeny Chris Hart. They work well. They're a team. Let's see here. The Rock, as realized by Rob Liefeld. Thank you very much, Bullet. I appreciate you. Jimmy said, she can't be the new Indiana Jones if no one watches the movie. Well, there you go. It's because they practice with a ketchup bottle. Oof. Jesus Christ, dude. That was Alan. Chester had a soy latte today, it seems. No, I'm just complaining about women not respecting the sensitivity of the penis. They're all rough on it, rubbing up and down it like for a frickin' hour. It's like, try a different action, maybe a different angle. Huh?
Chester, don't worry. I'm sure they feel the same about what you do to them. So.
I don't remember a woman complaining about an hour, but it's all right.
Yeah, I do.
Bull crap.
Some
You
women
go that long, they are complaining.
They do
Yeah,
complain. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, women complain
Are
about
you
a lot of
done
shit.
yet?
Hollywood is full of it, dude. Hollywood is absolutely full of it. Women complain about sex stuff all the time. Siegel could carry a film on his own. Johnson can't. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Seagal. Sorry. Yeah, no, Seagal certainly, because Seagal, I think, was a, he talk about entitled and hubris, but Seagal is a better actor, I think, when it comes right down to it.
Ooh, think
Well,
so?
yeah, I do. If you go back and look at his early films, just like with Stallone, if you look at his early films, that's an actor. That's not an action hero. That's an actor.
Oh yeah, no. Stallone he turned himself into an action hero, but he was an actor to start,
Yeah,
definitely, and a writer,
absolutely.
fantastic writer.
Yeah, he wrote Rocky, and that's true. But
Yeah.
I think Seagal is a better actor overall. And I just watched I like The Drinker. I don't know if you guys watched The Drinker, but I watched his JCVD talk, and I agree with him 100%. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that Jean-Claude Van Damme made was chasing the Hollywood dollar too much. He should have made a lot more money, a lot more movies in his own home in Belgium or in Europe,
Mm.
and I think he would still be around, chasing that Hollywood dollar because they didn't know what to do with him. Because if you watch the JCVD movie, that's an actor, dude. He can act well, and they
Yeah.
just never got the opportunity because of the language, his accent and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. 'Cause-
He's also what we call woke in the right way.
Mhm.
He's given interviews out there where he's talked about things like the Rothschilds and Federal Reserve System, things of that nature that
Yeah.
most actors don't talk about. So I think some of it is also he has the wrong opinions, and Hollywood doesn't like that very much. So.
Yeah. Arlene says, in my opinion, Dwayne Johnson doesn't have the acting talent of the others you mentioned, and no amount of muscle can make up for that. I'm not going to bang on Dwayne that hard. Maybe he's certainly not a Stallone. I'd agree, but I'd put him in the Arnold category. He's, you know, he's what he is, and I don't really have a problem with The Rock. And keep in mind, he's a normal dude. It seems he's a normal
He's entertaining.
family guy. He's an entertainer guy, and I think it's okay. Me Grinlaw King says, "Can you take the ugly dog off?" I did. Thank you.
The bone killer.
I would say, poor woman, but she deserves every bit of it and worse for her belief system.
Well, I chose this picture. I'll show it again. I chose this picture because can you get more smug? Can you get
No.
more smug? I mean,
No,
geez.
it's not. I don't
Okay,
think it's actually possible. If she did, she would literally implode her head into itself
Yeah.
with the smug look.
Yeah.
It's like Joan Cusack there.
Cusack, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Joan Cusack is talented. You
Well,
see, and I don't think
now-
that lady is.
Now,
But ugly.
here's the thing.
Yes.
Let's talk about John Cusack for a minute,
I
because
love him, but he's a nut job.
well, fair enough, and people go on and on and on about John Cusack, but here's the thing. I cannot really think of many of his movies that I like.
Really?
Yeah. Nope.
Grosse Point Blank?
I like that movie. I do. But you got to keep in mind his filmography is huge. Huge.
Yes, it is.
He falls
Better Off
in.
Dead?
What was that?
Better Off Dead?
Don't know that I saw that one. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that I haven't seen many of his movies because it doesn't fall into my wheelhouse. And for me, he's in a very similar category to Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage has made dozens of movies that I like. So I kind of lean more Nick. I'm a Nick guy. I'm not a John Cusack guy. How's that?
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, Nicolas Cage, especially some of his earlier, in the 90s, some of his movies in there are fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, he's had a wonderful career. Anyway, let's move on to our last story of the day.
What? Instagram begins automatically
God.
labeling Gina Carano content with warning regarding COVID-19 information.
I don't recall her talking
Jeez.
about it very much. But the thing with it is, guys, this is not going away. Can you believe how long this has lasted? These things usually go away by now. This is not going away. It's interesting. It's been going on for months, dude, months, and it doesn't go. It's either one side brings it back up or the other side, and it keeps going round and round and round and round. And they clearly want to destroy her opportunity to communicate with anyone else. And I don't know that I can name any other person other than Donald Trump that has been treated this way. Can you?
Alex Jones.
Ah, well, there you
His,
go. There you
his
go.
was even worse. They
So-
just took him off everything
No, you're
a week.
right. You're right. So Gina falls into the category of Donald Trump and Alex Jones. Good company.
There was also I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but there's also a website that is, it's a neo-Nazi website, but they were banished entirely from the internet to the point where the registrars were shutting down any ISP that had them on. To the point he had to go all the way to the deep web, been chased all over the country, all over the world, in fact, by agents from all different intelligence agencies, just so he can have his stupid little website where he hates Jewish people.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, he should have the right to do that.
Yes.
I mean, I might not agree with it, but he should
No.
have that right. I don't have problem with these SJWs and their opinions. That's not the problem. The problem is that you're not allowed to have your own. And that's been the problem the whole time. But I'm just saying they have put Gina into a high category. And the thing with it isn't even her fault. This has nothing to do with Gina Carano. Nothing. This is all about Kathleen Kennedy pushing back against Jon Favreau's success. Because the simple thing is, he made a lot of money for Disney. He asked to do a Star Wars thing, and they're like, okay, fine. They gave him a little teeny bit of money, and he made something awesome out of it. And then they decided to give him more money. Kathleen Kennedy was pissed off at it, and she went after Jon Favreau. Gina Carano is simply the victim of that. She has nothing to do with it. Kathleen Kennedy could care less about her. And it's just amazing how far this has gone, when in reality, there is no actual push from any of them toward Gina, right? It's shocking. It's shocking to me, dude. And Jiminy, High Fidelity, great movie. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Really? Really? Sir. You... Okay.
Don't like Fast Times?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High is a great movie. It's basically
Okay,
our
okay.
generation's High Fidelity, right? High Fidelity is the grunge gothy kids movie with John Cusack and Jack Black. Yeah.
Yeah, unknown Jack Black.
It's kind of weird how many movies Jack Black was in before anybody knew who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. He was one of those guys who was just in everything. And then all of a sudden he was a star and making his own movies and, became a household name. But before that, he was just another, faceless actor who's in everything, or nameless actor, rather, who's in everything that nobody remembered his name ever.
Yeah. No, that's true. But Jack can be fun though. He's got a surprisingly good voice actually. The interesting thing here, Arlene's talking about Alyssa Milano. I missed the whole Alyssa Milano thing. That was my brother, who's 5 years younger than me. That was his thing. He actually had a picture of Alyssa on his wall. What was that show she was in, Eric?
Who's the boss?
Who's the Boss with Tony Danza? That's right.
I had such a crush on her. I named my daughter Alyssa.
Oh Jesus! I didn't
Now I
care.
regret it.
Or
I
is
had
your significant other's okay with that?
wow.
Well,
Just don't tell her. For me it was Heather Locklear, so Alyssa was nothing. But the funny thing is, I kind of joked with my brother because he had a big crush on her. But then she came out with that movie where she shows off her tits, and I was like, damn, that was disappointing, huh? It's kind of like Haley Berry,
You were
right?
so-
It's
you were-
Swordfish. She showed off
Jack,
her
that's where I
tits.
was gonna go. You are so critical of tits.
I know.
He is. He has a very high bar on the breasticles.
I do. My wife says I'm a breast expert. She's correct. But no, I mean, it's kind of like Haley Berry in Swordfish, right? She was so proud to show off her boobies, and it was like, no, baby. Nah, baby. Put them back. Put them back. Wrap them up. See. All righty. Well,
I feel a comment coming from Jiminy right now. I think he's going to
Yep.
go off under here.
well, he's all happy with the Gina
I
love
thought they
over
were pretty
here.
nice looking myself.
No, well, you're wrong. It's okay. Uh,
Now I'll tell you whose were a tragedy. The chick that was in the second Austin Powers movie. What the heck's her name? I just lost it.
Oh, shoot.
Blonde girl. I can't think of her name, but she did a topless scene in some movie after that, and
They're Graham, and it was. What was
they're
that movie?
not good. They're a train wreck.
yeah, they are.
I love that movie. Boogie Nights.
Was it Boogie Nights?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
What,
It
Roller
was a
Girl?
porn movie, and she was an actress. Yeah, Roller Girl.
Oh, yeah. Hers weren't so great. Now, the other older lady in there, she was all kind of smoking. Whew, damn. She was an older lady too. She was definitely giving off vibe, man. That's not a bad flick actually. I like that more than I expected I would. That's usually not my jam. But
I did too.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. But my poor brother and his disillusionment. So, it's all right. Heather Graham, there you go. Beyonce. Now Beyonce is all kind of fine. Now she's a so-so singer, but she all kind of fine, dude. She's a great entertainer too. Beyonce is she took what she had and she made it work, man. You got to give her credit, right? I mean, she became one of the biggest female superstars of all time, I'd say. I mean, she did a good job. And it was interesting for me because Jiminy and Eric and I are all old enough to remember back in the 80s, early 80s coming through, we had an amazing girl singing group called In Vogue. Now you're talking about some ladies who could sing. I mean, just damn, they're just tweeting, amazing ability. And then they retired.
Well, I mean, they're nothing compared to the Bengals. Come on.
The Bengals got their thing going on too. But En Vogue was an actual diva group. Every one of them could sing at an amazing level. They were incredible singers. And I don't know why they retired, but they actually just retired, and it was like, all right, fine. And then you had a rush of bands trying to fill that spot, and it was Destiny's Child that ended up filling the spot. And I listened to them when they first came out. My wife actually bought an album, and I was like, wow, that's a poor replacement. Nowhere near the same level. I mean, they had some catchy tunes, but not even close to the same level of talent. But
I like
eventually,
TLC better than Destiny's Child.
well, Beyonce's coming out of Destiny's Child, right? Or
Yeah.
was it TLC?
Destiny's Child.
Oh yeah, I thought so. Okay, but anyway, but fair enough. She got herself out of that. She went out and she had a solo career, which oftentimes aren't successful, and
Right, yeah.
she became something huge, and she did it by by being a great entertainer. So In Vogue, the first concert I went to, dude, In Vogue was badass, Jiminy. Those girls could sing. Pat Benatar, she was hot. Yeah, I don't know about that, but she was one of the best female singers of all time. Yeah. She's kind of one of those people that wasted her talent doing what she was doing. Very similar to Christina Aguilera, because now we know what Christina can do. Finally, and it's like, well, damn, she's amazing. Pat was the same of her generation. She was an opera singer, and she went in, and she was a very good one, and she went in to make money, and she did. But that was a complete waste of her talent, what she was doing. Her voice is so much better than that. But anyway, we're way off track, Thundero. What are you doing?
Watching WrestleMania. What are you doing?
I don't know, getting off track, I guess.
I'm watching. To somebody in the WWE, they have a gentleman who's legitimately from Africa. I don't know where in Africa, but he's an African guy, African wrestler. He's actually an incredible wrestler, but they've never really used him properly. His wrestling name is Apollo Crews, and lately he's been doing this African gimmick, like leaning into it. And right now they're having two black men wrestle in a Nigerian drum match, I think is what it was called. And I am not sure if it's racist or hilarious, but I'm enjoying it.
All right. The chat is mentioned Susanna Hoffs, and I believe
Susanna
she's
Hoffs,
she's
hot.
the Bengals, right? She's the Bengals girl, right?
the bass player, I think, and she went off solo.
career. Yeah. She's a pretty girl. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the Bangles. I think they were a great, fun girl band. But when we're talking about simple, diva-esque ability of singing, using the literal meaning of the word, not the colloquial meaning, it's not even close, dude. I mean, En Vogue, those ladies were truly talented. Truly talented. I like Bangles too, which is not something I'd normally admit because at that time I was listening to AC/DC and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and stuff like that. But the Bengals, it was one of those guilty pleasures, Sundero. Yeah.
Yep. You lost me with the music talk. I don't care.
All right, fine. Papa Shango. Yeah, there you go, Bullet. Anyway, all right, guys. There's the show. All about the communism. And they're pushing hard, Eric. They're pushing hard, dude.
Oh yeah.
They're not afraid. Hey, Captain Canada. Speaking of Kamala Harris, did you know that she was the Attorney General for California and she made a lot of really bad decisions? Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you know she got her job by sleeping with the governor?
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yeah. She literally slept her way to the top.
And it's public knowledge, even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the scary thing is the image of her sleeping with Biden. I don't think she's too old, dude. Way too big. He likes them little.
He does like them young.
He does. Stop hating on white girls. I'm not hating on them. I like the Bengals, dude. I'm just saying that En Vogue was badass. And I'm just giving respect where respect is due to Beyonce because she made success out of. I'm surprised she got to where she did. But she did it. And good on her for it, dude. Yes, please do hit that like button, folks, and subscribe if you haven't. I rarely ever say that. I should probably say that more often. But the problem is I'll get up to like 980, 990. It's like, oh, we're gonna hit 1,000, and then all of a sudden I'm back down to 920. Eric, what's that about?
I'm pretty sure it's you.
It might be. It's happened a lot. It could be me. Is it?
I can't imagine what you would say that would cause that.
Well, is it the rough dick pulling comments? Is that it?
That's a new one, so I don't think they don't know that one yet.
They don't know that one yet. Okay.
That didn't bother them.
Is it the engine comments? I like engines.
I don't think that's it either.
No? I'll figure it out eventually, folks. Thank you all very much for coming in.
You'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. My schedule has lightened up, so I should the rest of this week should be normal, hopefully. This is just crazy time of year for me, but new fiscal year and all. But we should be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Comic Book News Today. And I got a couple of gems already picked out, Thundero. Ready for it. And it's not happy news, though. It's not happy.
It never is. Yeah. It never is anymore.
Yeah. I do give the two of you a challenge, though. I would love it because I always kind of put the news together and we just interact with it, which is totally cool. But I would love if you guys could find a couple of comic book stories that are actually positive. That would be wonderful.
The only one I'm waiting for is for one of the big two to be shut down. To me, that would be positive because they deserve it.
Moon Knight coming back in July.
Is he? Oh, that's not good. No, that's not good. Jiminy says maybe it's the comments about wide heads on blacks. Well, that was Thundero's comment, actually. I didn't make that, but I could get into a skull morphology conversation if you'd like. I am an anthropologist after all. I do have a little bit.
Chester, am I wrong? Do Black Americans have wider heads than Africans?
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But
they have wider cheekbones and wider. What's the top of the skull called? The front of the skull? I can't remember.
Lobotomy.
But it's slightly wider. There's nothing racist about it. It just is. It's the way. It's from years of over here. Different climate and whatever.
Well, I mean, they're very intermixed. The vast majority of black people in America are from the Ivory Coast, West Africa section anyway.
Yes.
Then they don't look anything like them now. They're very different. But like I
Correct.
said, they're not. They're American, just like Europeans and et cetera, et cetera. They're skullduggery. Don't bring that up. That's the dirty word, Bullet. That's dirty. You guys say I'm bad. You're bad. Bad Bullet. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all very much for coming in. And you guys got any closing comments?
Negative.
All righty. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. And enjoy your communism. A cup of communism. Later.